Hey guys. Hey guys, how's it going? I hope everyone is doing well day or night whenever you tune in and see this. So, this is going to be a general reading for Pisces, and this message is late. This reading is late, but since it is Pisces season, okay, since I'm filming this on February 20th, the next set of readings we will be starting with you, Pisces, so you won't have to wait, and your reading will not be late. All right. So happy birthday to all the Pisces out there ahead of time. Even if your birthday was yesterday. All right. Since we started Pisces season on, I think, the 18th. Yes. So whether your birthday was the 19th or the 18th or even today or later in the month, happy birthday to all the Pisces out there. All right. So this is going to be a general reading for Pisces. So it's going to cover love, money, work, health, friends, family, etc. All right, so take it how it resonates for you if it does. And it is also a timeless reading, meaning that for some of you guys, it could resonate as an example 6 months in the past or 6 months in the future, a year in the past, a year in the future. All right, so even though this reading is for January 17th through February 17th, it could go beyond those dates before or after each way. All right, so keep that in mind. So I've pulled all of your cards here, Pisces, and we're going to get into your reading here in just a moment. Just want to go over a couple of things first. So as we have all 12 zodiac signs through each individual birth charts, like our individual birth charts, this reading may resonate for you even if you're not a sun, rising, or moon Pisces, because we have Pisces somewhere in your chart, okay? So hopefully you can get something from this reading regardless of where your Pisces is in your chart. What else? I also do take one photo at the end of all the cards here that I'll be posting after the live is done. So if you want to check it out more up close in detail, all you have to do after the live is click on the description box below and follow the instructions there. And I just kind of saw that the camera was tilted a little bit the other way, but it's okay, no biggie. All right, and yeah, so let's go ahead and do a quick sound ball here for some general healing and grounding for the reading for yourself and for myself. All right, so just be aware it does get a little loud in case that's something that you're sensitive to, whether you're with headphones or just in general. And yeah, if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out whenever, or you can just listen as well. All right. All right, Pisces. So I hope everyone's doing good and getting ready for the Pisces season. Or you already got ready for the Pisces season? You've been ready? All right. So let's talk about how this might go down, right? If you're new, also welcome. And even if you're not new, welcome back. All right. So I'm going to start in the center with your first main cards, 9 cards. And then we'll work outwards to your tarot confirmation cards that I use another deck for. And then we'll also talk about what's on top and the bottom of each deck as well. And at the very end, we have a couple oracle cards here for you too. And also, if you find as we're going through the reading that this is not your reading, that's why I always say to find out your other placements if you don't already know, right? Since we all have all 12 zodiac signs through each individual birth chart. So depending on what's going on in your life, you may resonate more with your moon sign or your sun sign or your rising sign, or for matters of love, always in higher assets and wealth, check your Venus sign too. So yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and start in the center. I'll go ahead and call the cards out in order, and then we'll kind of go from there, Pisces, okay? So we have the Four of Staves or Four of Wands in the right side up position. We have the Ten of Swords in the reverse position, the Ace of Staves, or also known as Ace of Wands, right side up. We have the Lovers in the reverse. We have Three of Sacred Circles, right side up. We have the Star in reverse. We have Nine of Sacred Circles, or Nine of, also known as Nine of Pentacles, right side up. We have Prince of Swords in the right side up position. And then we have the Fool here. So let's go ahead and call out the zodiac signs that I do see throughout your reading here, in case you're wanting to know if the other person or multiple people that you're dealing with may show up in the reading. Okay, so we do have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas that do speak of some significant amount of change during this time. It could start even further back, again, a couple of months ago. It will be different for everybody. But we do have Gemini twice here. We also have Aquarius and we have Cancer, okay? So we have, where are we at? We have the Chariot, we have the Lovers, we have the Star, and we have the Fool card as far as the major arcana. So you could be dealing with one of those signs, or you have some of those sign placements really heavy or predominantly in your birth chart or their birth chart or multiple people's birth chart, or it means nothing at all, but I wanted to mention it at the beginning in case I forgot to do it later, okay? All right, now also going forward, each row here kind of corresponds to a week or two of energy here. But again, depending on when you're watching the reading, it may resonate in different ways. Okay, so as an example, let's say you're watching this reading for January 17th through February 17th, but it's next year, 2023. Okay, so that's just like an example. But this first row here is going to be energy starting around January 17th, not exact, going through the end of January till about January 31st. And then the second row is energy starting from February 1st to about February 9th. And then the third and last row here in the center is from February 9th till about February 17th or so. But again, not exact. It could go definitely beyond that and before that, okay? So yes, and when we're talking about the first couple of cards in your reading, it could be energy from that we're picking up from the recent past. It could also be about the person you're dealing with if it's not you, vice versa, right? Or it could be about multiple people in your general environment situation or even the astrology for this time period, okay? So when we start off with this first card here, the Four of Staves, also known as the Four of Wands, this is some really beautiful energy here, Pisces. This, again, could be you or another person around you in your environment or influencing you in some way. But this is a very positive card that speaks of being comfortable, right? It speaks of celebrations. It speaks of sacred unions, okay? For some, it's a union card. And unions can be romantic. They can be platonic with friends or family, or even union of different parts of yourself coming together. But we see these two Egyptian people. Let me come a little closer so you can see. And they're in this kind of party-like atmosphere with wine and grapes and cheese in the foreground on the table. And then they're sitting here kind of alone and talking and having this vulnerability, this comfortability with each other, okay? So it could be that you find yourself, in some type of union here that's really special, that you feel really comfortable with somebody or multiple people, right? If it's like a work environment or romantic or with friends or family or with even yourself. But there is this nice comfortability and there's a relaxed atmosphere and even celebratory energy here starting off your reading. Now, going forward, though, you also have another really positive card. Your second card is the Ten of Swords in reverse, and that's how you want to see that card. It means that somebody towards the end of January was also letting go of a lot of anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in their head, or even exhaustion or even depression if you go all the way to the end of the extreme of those examples, right? But somebody is letting that go. Okay, or they already did. And that is really beautiful to see here, Pisces, because this is how you want to see this card, right? So now the swords are upright. If you're looking at it with the card upright, the going down. So that would be the more negative aspect of it. But here, since it's reversed, now they're going back up. You would holding the sword upwards. Your mental clarity is going back up, or someone else's, okay? But however you resonate with it, it's really beautiful, right? And it could be because of this special union here. And you could have multiple unions that are special to you, right? You could have a romantic union that you feel really relaxed and comfortable with and having celebration type energy. It could also be in a work environment or with friends or family. And it could be possibly influence this Ten of Swords in the reverse, this releasing or shedding and healing of all those things we just mentioned. Could be because you have that support system around you, whether it's one person or multiple people or multiple energies here. But it's really nice to see. Now, when I said in the beginning to Pisces, that this could be energy from the recent past, not only just we're going backwards right to January, to the last 2 weeks of January, it could have even be further back past that. Could be December, November, October, whatever it is. Okay, recent past will be different for everybody. But now moving forward, though, you have another really positive card. You have the Ace of Staves or the Ace of Wands, right? And so aces are all about fresh new energy and new beginnings. Okay. And here we have a lot of fiery energy. And we have the gifts from the divine coming in. The wands also with the Ace of Wands, it could be representing fertility, right? So if you're a woman and you want to have a baby, of course it could mean that. But for the majority of us, right, if we're taking it more as a metaphor, so it's like fertility of a project or a new phase of your life or cycle or something is like giving this fresh energy too with the wand here, okay? And it being an ace card, but really beautiful forward momentum, positive energy here. So that's really nice to see, especially when we're talking about the end of the first month of the new calendar year, right? It's always good to have some fresh energy wherever it comes in, right? Go with it, okay? Now, going forward here, there's really only, well, I would say maybe 2 or 3 small blockages or reminders of energy. Okay, so it's not the end of the world, and you still have some really other good positive cards coming in. But when we get into your second row here, starting around February 1st or so, you have the Lovers in reverse position. It could be hinting at that there is an imbalance with that sacred union that we talked about in your first card, kind of showing up here with the Lovers in reverse. It could be lower vibrational frequencies. It could be a fight with someone, a romantic partner, a work partnership with friends or family, okay, however it resonates with you. But there is an imbalance, right, when it's in the reverse position. So it's talking about somebody possibly could be giving too much energy or someone's not giving enough. Now it's not equal. Now maybe it's not as relaxed and comfortable as it was before when you started with the Four of Staves or Four of Wands in the right side up position here. Okay. And it could also have something to do, if we're talking about self-love, right? If you're not focused or watching this reading for romantic love or platonic love with friends or family, or you're not even watching necessarily for love reasons, but when we talk about sacred unions, it could also be sacred unions of different parts of yourself coming together. So there could be something to do with the masculine and feminine sides of yourself are not balanced like they should be. Okay, so we all have masculine and feminine sides inside of ourselves, even if we identify as non-binary or what have you, right? But there is just some type of imbalance or a little bit of stagnant, slowing down energy blockage here, okay? But it doesn't last, for too long, because then going forward, your fifth card is the Three of Sacred Circles, also known as the Three of Pentacles, right side up. And so here, this is about moving forward, slowly stacking your abundance. And abundance, yes, it's money and wealth, but it isn't just that. It's whatever you want to currently manifest in your life. Okay, so here it is about slowing down of the energy as well, right? Since you went from that little bit of the blockage energy, here it's starting to pick up a little bit more, maybe in that first week of February or so, midweek. But it's about going inward within, kind of, it's similar energy a little bit to, let's say, the Hermit card, right? Because this Native American hut is way far off from all the other Native American huts, okay? So it's like taking a break from some type of social energy or community here to kind of go within and really focus on your priorities, right? So the Two of Pentacles even is like juggling of energy, and working on your priorities. The Three of Pentacles is similar in that way, but it's also about, okay, what am I doing for the long term? How can I get more abundance and more growth? So here in the card, you see at the top and the bottom, there's an eagle and there's a bear spirit. One is like the clouds, and then the other is painted on the drums. So it's like, how can I incorporate, or the other person incorporate, or multiple people, or general environment situation incorporate the energy of the eagle or a bird in general, seeing things from a higher perspective, seeing how all the different angles and viewpoints and puzzle pieces fit together, and then also incorporating the energy of the bear. Okay, so hibernation mode, whether you're actually in the part of the world where we have winter time or not, right? Hibernation mode means going within, but also having enough energy to recharge yourself and survive long and difficult storms with, like, let's say, less resources. Because when we talk about this being a Three of Sacred Circles or Three of Pentacles card, it is slowly stacking your abundance. So I'm only Three Pentacles or Three Sacred Circles. How do I get to 10, right? So it's like taking the resources that you have, right? If we're talking about money, or we're talking about energy or your health or whatever it is, how do I, stack more over the long haul? How do I store and save what I have to make it last? Okay. So that's kind of the energy of that card. Now, going forward, though, when we get into your sixth card, which is the Star in the reverse position, a little bit of the Aquarius energy. And oh, yeah, I forgot to mention the Lovers was the Gemini. You had two Gemini cards, but the Lovers is the official Gemini card energy. Okay, sorry, I think I mentioned it in the beginning. But anyway, going forward, back to the Star in the reverse card is your sixth card here. There's a little bit of a blockage where perhaps you felt, Pisces, or the other person felt, excuse me, or is still currently feeling a lack of hope or inspiration for the future, or your emotions could be clouding your judgment in some way and not having you realize that there's still like positive emotions out there in some way. Okay, with the Star card in reverse, and that is that Aquarius energy too. And so, it's like just really maybe feeling a little bit down on yourself or your current circumstances or situations, or the person you're dealing with is feeling that way, or multiple people, general environment situation. But again, it could just be a slowing down of energy. And if we're talking about even just going back to the last card, right? If somebody's really focused on how to stack their abundance and have more growth in their life, and they're trying to multiply things and grow forward, this could also be the Star in the reverse position, could be like an exhaustion card. So if you're really busy focusing on, let's say, the more 3D side of the world and conscious side, and not the unconscious and the spiritual, because we all have to do that, right, to pay our bills and what have you. But if someone is focused more on that, perhaps they're lost a little bit of their inner spark, their hope, or their inspiration for the future, because maybe their creativity also maybe isn't where it would normally be, or their passion or something here. But it's just a little bit of slowing down, of stagnant energy here. Okay, but the next card, as a spoiler alert, is really good, so it doesn't last long. All right, but this is actually where my spirit guides wanted me to talk to you about what's on the top and the bottom of your one deck here in relation to that Star in the reverse position. So when we talk about what's on the top and the bottom, if you've seen me before, you know, but if you're new, this is like energy from the way, way back past. So we have recent past, could be a couple of days ago, months, hours, weeks, minutes, seconds, etc. And then the way, way back past would be further back than that. Well, again, whatever that means for you. But what we have is the Eight of Swords on the top and the right side up position, and the King of Cups on the bottom, also in the right side up position in relation to the Star in reverse. So it looks like here, Pisces, in the past, there could have been a lot of anxiety, worry, overthinking. exhaustion, lower vibrational frequencies with the swords going down, right? And we also have the water and the lake in the background behind this Japanese woman here. So there could have been some emotions on somebody's side or multiple people's side in the past that led to being too much up in their head and overthinking things. But despite that happening, there was then this was like a catalyst card that led to the King of Cups in the right side up position, being like, okay, I'm now mastering my emotions. What are my emotional priorities, commitments? What are my emotional boundaries? What makes me emotionally fulfilled, happy, and content? Okay. And then maybe stepping up in some type of way, right? Since it's a king, could be stepping up in the next phase of a relationship or stage in your life or what have you, or just being more of a leader or stepping into your own power in general here. Okay. And so when we talk about it, with the star in the reverse position. This card, when it's right side up, she has water too. It's very similar to, if you're familiar with tarot, the Temperance card, right? So she has 1 foot on land, 1 foot in the water, and she's taking two of these shells and kind of taking the water in and out. So she's like transmuting kind of alchemy energy here, if it was in the right side up position. But again, there could be something that happens more in this present, first week of February where, something with the emotions hints back to something that happened in the past, or just triggers energy from the way back past where somebody's emotions were all over the place and clouding their judgment and making them be too much up in the head. So then they couldn't see the star anymore. They couldn't see the hope or inspiration or creativity or passion for the future. All right. But like I said, it doesn't last too long here. Okay. Because going forward, now we're in your third row, which is energy from, what did I say, February 9th through the 17th or so. It could be before or after, right? It's not exact. We have the Nine of Sacred Circles or the Nine of Pentacles in the right side up position. And this is one of my favorite cards in the tarot. Nine being right on the edge of an ending and a new beginning, because 10 in tarot would be the completion number. But it is about skill, determination, and focus, putting in a lot of work around something. And here we see the falcon, right? And normally they would have like the blinders on, and then you would take it off, and then they zero in on whatever it is they want. That's the skill, determination, and focus. And in this deck, we see this Native American woman who's older, right? And she's burning some type of sage or some kind of sacred plant. Maybe it's Palo Santo or frankincense or whatever, right? But she has a lot of support around her too. I mean, you wouldn't see it necessarily depicted in this card, but in other decks, if you're familiar with tarot, right, there's usually a little scribe dude or woman off on the side helping that person. Like, what do you need from the store? What do you need me to do, right? So there's a lot of supportive energy with this card, okay? Supportive energy to maybe level up soon, to maybe start this new beginning, to have this ending, but it feels very positive and forward momentum. Now, before going forward, I want to go back just a little bit here, because your cards, and if you've seen me before, my spirit guides will tell me in different places for every reading where they want me to put the top and the bottom of each deck. And so when we were talking about the Lovers card, to go back to the previous row from February 1st through the 9th, right? We talked about that card, the Lovers in reverse. I kind of didn't realize that this is where I was supposed to talk about what was in the top and the bottom of your other deck here. Because normally in the other deck, I use them for confirmation cards, and it was right over top of the other one. And I was just so focused on what I was saying. But it's all good, right? It doesn't matter as long as I get it out there at some point, okay? Maybe it was supposed to happen that way, right? Who's to say? But anyway, what we have, and this is again, energy from the way back past, whatever that means for you. We have the Knight of Cups in the right side up position, and then we have the Chariot, that Cancer energy, in the reverse position on the bottom of the deck here. Okay, so this could be saying, as far as this stagnant energy blockage where there's a union that isn't now equal, or there's not a good balance between the masculine and feminine energies, or there's more lower vibrational frequencies, whether again it's romantic or platonic or self-love or whatever. That could be because in the way back past here, there was some type of offer or communication that came through that either you gave or someone gave to you, or it was a communication from the universe, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, etc., that came in that was like this forward momentum. And it could have been, let's say, as an example, a medium-sized communication. So we could say a page or a small-sized communication would be a text, as an example. Again, a medium-sized communication would be a phone call or an email, or you meet in person, or whatever it means for you, okay? But the nights are like slow moving, right? They're in the middle because it goes page, knight, or prince, and then king. But it still is forward momentum, and there was some type of offer, communication that came in. Now here with the chariot in the reverse position, it's like maybe that offer wasn't well received, or it's like didn't the forward momentum that was started with this communication didn't completely keep going at that speed. Maybe it stopped at like a dead halt here, because then with the chariot in the reverse position, we also have an imbalance of masculine and feminine energy. Because if the card is right side up, you see these two lions on the bottom, or I think they're supposed to be pharaoh lions, or the Sphinx, or I don't know. They look like, actually they both have boobs, but it's supposed to be, because of the colors, it's supposed to be masculine and feminine energy at the bottom here. I don't know if you guys can see that. But it's like the energy slowed down, because also when the chariot is right side up, it's forward momentum. He's literally on a chariot with two horses or two lions or two Sphinx, whatever those creatures are, right? But it's in the reverse position. So it's a slowing down of energy, and there's an imbalance. Okay, so that's like a double kind of imbalance as far as the masculine and feminine energy. Was there another card that? No, not really. But yeah, I mean, two is good enough, right? To make an example of there definitely being some type of imbalance. Now, also, I would say too that this could have been because the chariot, whether it's reversed or right side up, represents Cancer energy. If we're thinking back to the last full moon in January, I looked it up for the last reading. I think it was January 17th. The full moon was in Cancer. So this could be hinting also as a timing card for some of you guys, that something maybe happened around that full moon in Cancer in January that then is being repeated, or triggering something that happened from before. Because I know that the full moon in February, I think was the 18th. One was the 17th and one, yeah, and the February one was the 18th. I'm looking at my notes right there. It was the 18th. Okay. But anyways, this was just kind of explaining a little bit more info on why maybe we had that blockage. So now that I talked about that, let's go back forward to that last row we were in. So we had just finished talking about earlier the 9 of Sacred Circles, or 9 of Pentacles in the right side up position. Okay. Now moving forward, we have as your 8th card, the Prince of Swords in the right side up position. So the thing about princes or knights too is that since they haven't reached the highest status yet, they are in the position to be open to learning new things, right? And we should always be like that in life, or always strive to be like that, regardless of our career or our status or whatever it is, right? We should always strive to be learning new things and to be open in certain ways, right? Because it's just good for your development and your abundance and everything, right? But when we have this Prince of Swords in the right side up position, he actually, in the card, it looks like his eyes are closed, or he's kind of squinting. Hopefully you can see it. If it doesn't, if it focuses, sometimes the light Hopefully you can see it there, or just take my word for it if you're watching and not listening. But he, there is water in the background behind this prince as well. And so he's in this kind of meditative, like even, what is it, like Tai Chi type energy with the sword. When we talk about swords or even wands, right, it could be a weapon or a tool. So here he's trying to listen, right, to his own mental clarity and decide whether he wants to use it as a weapon or a tool. Okay, but the important part, right, just the imagery alone, is that the sword is in the right side up position. So it is positive, right? So it could be that in this middle of February, let's say, right, because this last row is February 9th through the 17th or so, or even beyond. You have the first one, the Nine of Sacred Circles, of that determination, focus, and skill with the falcon there. And then when the Prince of Swords is following, it's like double mental clarity, focusing on whatever it is your goal or whatever you want to manifest in your life moving forward. Okay, so really beautiful here. Now, your last card in the main 9 here, Pisces, is really beautiful. It's the Fool card. And so that's a little bit of that Gemini energy again, since I said you had 2 cards with Gemini energy. But this is also, you could say the Fool is almost like an 8. So it's a... Sorry, 1 second. I knew I should have my music on. Hermes, come here. Nope. Come here. Come here, Hermes. Come here. You don't... Let me finish my reading. All right, sorry guys. So the Fool is like the ace. The ace is in tarot too, so it's about new beginnings, right? And it has the energy of, also, if it's not a new beginning per se, it could be just a trust in something, a faith in something, right? It could be a new step towards a direction or something in your life here, all right? Because normally when you see this card in the tarot, there's a guy or a girl, whatever, at the edge of the cliff, and there's a little doggy by them, and they're trying to jump from one side of the cliff to the other, and there's like a river or stream or rocks that they could die on or something. So it's like, it could be dangerous, right? And when we talk about the Fool, especially in this deck, it's like, do I want to look foolish to others? Does that, if I make this leap of faith or this trust in something, am I going to look like a fool even to myself or to others, right? Because here in this deck you see, tarot reader, right? And she's actually holding the mirror image of herself, of the Fool card, and then behind her is even a mirror. So it can bring up on the more dark side of the card, right? Excuse me, since there's positive and negative and everything, it can bring up issues of identity and ego, and what do those things mean as far as this leap of faith or trust in something. But I feel like it's really positive. It will be different for everybody since it is a general reading. It could be about you, it could be about the person you're dealing with, or multiple people, general environment situation. But I feel that it is more positive because of the other cards that came before it. Okay, Pisces? All right, so now with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about your tarot confirmation cards. And because it's your season for some reason or whatever, I've been doing 4 tarot confirmation cards, but another one came out. So you have a 5th one. Okay, so you're special for this series of readings. Nobody else had 5 tarot confirmation cards, so you should feel special. All right. So let's go ahead and call them out in order, and then we'll go from there. So you have the 4 of Cups in the right side up position. You have the 2 of Wands in reverse. You have the 3 of Wands right side up. You have the 9 of Swords right side up. And then you have the 8 of Wands in the reverse position. Now, the first 2 tarot confirmation cards are energy from the recent past. And then in your case, the last 3 here are more future, current, present, possibilities, possible energy in the future. Okay. And I forgot to do this in the other reading, I think. I wanted to count how many swords, how many minor arcanas showed up in your reading, because that can also be an underlying theme going on in your reading. So let's see. We have, as far as wands, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We have 1 sword, 2 swords, 3 swords. Okay, so it's not swords. We have how many cups? We have 1, Oh, okay, only one cup, so it's not cups. How many pentacles do we have? We have one, two, only two. So, okay, so it looks like it's wands because there's five wands, that's the most, right? So, what does that mean? This could be talking about our defense um, mechanisms and our defense systems as far as your another underlying theme here in your reading, Pisces. Okay, so it could be that there's something going on as far as, are my defenses high, are they too high, or are they too low, right? Does what When we talk about defenses, um, you know if they're too high, is that blocking my abundance? Also, if they're too low, is that blocking my abundance, right? We want to be defensive, out on the street in a certain way to protect ourselves. But when we talk about defense mechanisms or defense systems, I'm talking more in general about the walls that we put up or the spiritual or emotional blocks, okay? To protect ourselves, right? It's being overly protective for some or not being protective enough. It would be different for everybody. Now, I also wanted to say, since we do talk about health tier two, and we talk about defense systems, what is a defense system when we talk about health or physical body? That would be your immune system. So hopefully, you are well at this time. But I would say when we're looking at the wands cards here, let's see, one, two, three. I thought we had five. Wait, hold on. One, two, three, four. Where's the fifth one? Did I miscount? Oh, I'm not looking at these guys either. Wait, hold on. Oh, that changes everything. Wait, let's go back. I forgot these were under here. Sorry guys. Whoop, whoop. One, two, three, four. No, there's still four. That's weird. I thought there was five ones. Okay, I'm tripping. But now that we pulled these other ones out, so I should just leave them out anyway. How many swords? Let's see, make sure it's still the same. One, two, three, four. How many cups? We had one before. Now we have two. Now we have three. So it's still not cups. So it's probably, and this has definitely happened in other readings, where the swords and the wands are like equal number. Okay, so I don't know why I thought it was five. I just didn't see it right. So it's look like now there's four wands and there's four swords. Okay, but it still goes back to what I said before about the wands and the swords, one being either a tool or one being a weapon. It's the same kind of deal. Okay, so it doesn't, change what I was saying. But what I was starting to say too was that when we talk about, our immune systems and that kind of defense of the physical body, I would say out of the four wands cards, three of those are positive. So, hopefully, it doesn't mean that you're sick or anything like that, or the other person you're dealing with is sick, or multiple people are dealing with are sick. Okay. And that won't be for everybody, but there is that, other side of it too. So I had to mention it for a second. But let's get back on track because, we have, we've talked about that for a moment. So let's go forward. Okay. So going back to your first tarot confirmation card here, Pisces, we have the Four of Cups in the right side up position. So when the Four of Cups is up here, and this is energy from the recent past, it could be that emotionally in the recent past, you were perhaps not satisfied in certain ways, or the other person was not satisfied in certain ways, or multiple people, general environment situation, because the cups in tarot represent our emotions. Now, you see this man or a woman, I can't tell what, I think it's a woman in this one. She's looking down at the three cups and she's just like, oh, her body language is like, I don't like those cups being presented here to me. I don't like my current circumstances or situation. But what she doesn't realize, if she changes her perspective or waits a little bit and gives it some time, here comes the hand of the divine at the top, with another cup that she hasn't seen yet, okay? So other circumstances or situations or people or challenges that you might vibe with better, are on their way. So in the recent past, there could have been a little bit of this kind of blah energy, like, I'm just like, I'm not passionate or creative or like feeling what's currently going on here in some way, whether it was you, Pisces, or the other person. Okay. But when this Four of Cups in the right side up position, it's a confirmation card. So what is it confirming? It's confirming the Four of Staves right side up, the Lovers in reverse, and the Nine of Sacred Circles or Nine of Pentacles in the right side up position here. Okay. So we'll do it one by one so I don't drop them. When this Four of Cups is confirming the Four of Staves, right? Four being maybe an important number for you, or in numerology, right? Or even eight, right? 4 plus 4 is 8. But, this could be even like something happened 8 months ago or 4 months ago, or it's going to happen in the future in 4 months, or it could be a lot of different things. But just going back to the meaning of the cards, though, is that this was a catalyst. This Four of Cups, recent past energy, was a catalyst perhaps for the Four of Staves, the Four of Wands right side up, because then it led to this celebratory energy, this more relaxed, comfortable energy, and possibly a union between two people or two parties or two energies, right? Romantic union, platonic union with friends or family, a work union, whatever it is. Okay, so it was like a catalyst. So maybe if you got a different perspective or gave something some time, or the other person did, or multiple people, then it brought in more of that Four of Wands, Four of Staves energy. Okay, but it's a catalyst card, so it looked like it worked out as far as that card. Now here, when it is confirming the Lovers in reverse, okay, this could be saying here, Pisces, that the energy from the recent past maybe came back up again and then challenged this union or multiple unions, right? We all have different partnerships or different unions, where then suddenly somebody was giving too much, or someone wasn't giving enough, or there wasn't a balance of this masculine feminine energy that we all have inside of us, or is it more lower vibrational frequencies, not bringing out the best in each other or in each group or what have you, or each energy, because maybe there was a little bit of an impatience and this blah, kind of not passionate, not creative, excited about this current circumstances energy. All right, but then it is also confirming the Nine of Sacred Circles. So two of the cards that it's confirming are very positive. And then the other one, the Lovers we just talked about, it could be just kind of explaining why that energy blockage or stagnant energy or that reminder is kind of there. Okay, but here with the Nine of Sacred Circles in the right side up position, when the Four of Cups is confirming that, it's like this woman, right? She's older. She looks like a grandmother, okay, right? Or she's of a certain age, right? And so she gave universe time to give her more abundance, to give her emotional fulfillment, emotional contentment, satisfaction, all the things that the cups represent. Okay, she put in long, hard work, hours, years, whatever it is, right? It's just an example to get more skill, determination, focus, to have more support behind her, okay, to be able to even give back to the younger generation in some way, to prepare for possible endings and new beginnings and leveling up, okay? So that is really beautiful. All right. Now going forward, your second tarot confirmation card here, Pisces, is the Two of Wands in the reverse position. And this is also recent past energy. So it could be that in the recent past, somebody perhaps didn't want to look at something, didn't want to get advice from others, didn't want to watch how other people were going about or doing something here because it's in the reverse position. So there was, again, some type of a little bit of blockage here, right? Even if the card was right side up, right, on the wands, if you see really small in the card, there's these little leaves. So it's growing, right? It's abundance, it's growth, it's all those things. So here in the recent past, there was a little bit of an energy blockage where there wasn't growth or abundance. And it was because maybe somebody didn't want to slow down and get some advice or look at how other people do things, not in a copying kind of energy, but a learning from other people kind of energy. Somebody didn't perhaps want to do that, or was resistant to that, okay? So when this is coming in here and it's confirming the Ten of Swords in reverse, the Three of Sacred Circles, the Three of Pentacles right side up, and the Prince of Swords in the right side up position. I can hold all of them together like that for a second. All right, and then I'll just do it one by one. It's saying here that the reason why in the recent past here, Pisces, somebody didn't want to get advice or look at something and see how other, like, let's say as an example, your car broke down in a certain particular way, that your other friend's car also broke down, even though they're different cars. Maybe there was some similarity, and she was trying to give you advice, or he was trying to give you advice about what to do or what the price would be if you did this or whatever, right? But maybe somebody didn't want to look at that. They didn't want anybody else's advice. They didn't want to look at how the other person maybe solved that problem or that challenge, okay? That's that Two of Wands in reverse energy. But here it's like a catalyst. So then in the future, because this is recent past, and then here in the more future current energies of that last 2 weeks of January, couldn't remember for a second, somebody let go of some type of mental anguish or worry, and maybe it was attached to, when we accept advice or we even ask for advice, right? Sometimes people view that as being weak, okay? So maybe here it was saying, Pisces, that somebody decided, okay, I'm not going to let that anxiety of what other people might think of me asking for help or taking help or advice. And so, that's really what I feel here for that. Now, moving forward, though, when the Two of Wands in reverse is confirming the Three of Sacred Circles right side up, this was also a catalyst card, or maybe not even a catalyst card. Actually, I'll take that back. It's more like explaining one and the other, for like saying that maybe the reason why somebody was in this mode of the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Sacred Circles, of slowly stacking their abundance, of trying to find ways to save for the future and to go through a long storm and preserve their energy, preserve their health, preserve their money, all of that stuff, preserve their creativity, whatever. It could be because they were in the recent past not taking the advice from other people or asking for advice on how to do those things. But here in the more future current energies, they even say, I'm not only going to ask people, right? As an example, I'm going to ask the eagle. I'm going to ask the bear. I'm going to ask my guardian angels, my spirit guides, the universe, the divine, whatever you call it. Okay, so here you can see just in these two cards the growth here for somebody here, Pisces, whether it's you, another person, multiple people. Okay, but you can really see their growth there. Now, when this Two of Wands is also confirming the Prince of Swords in the right side up position, it's like he, like I said, he's focused, he's meditating, he's in this mental clarity of the mind mode where he's channeled his emotions, the water in the background, to move forward. Okay, so maybe the emotions are going back to what I was saying in the other cards, where I don't care if I ask for advice, or I'm open to advice or help or assistance from others, because if it gets me where I need to be going, then who cares, what other people might think or what I might think of taking this advice or this assistance in some way. So here, it's like, yes, I'm going to accept it because it's going to give me more mental clarity, right? And I always say, as just yes, right on the bell there, like two heads are better than one, right? So if you're really struggling with something, or someone else is really struggling with something, a lot of times there can be really bad advice. Of course, there can be really bad, inefficient help. I'm trying to think of that other card in the tarot that is a good example of that. Why can't I think of it right now? Well, anyway, there's like a man, older man, and he's got all these swords he needs to carry, right? I think, is it the Nine of Swords? No, it's not the Nine of Swords. I think it's the Seven of Swords. Anyway, it doesn't matter what the card is. The imagery, right, is this man, and he's got this bag of all these heavy swords. And here's this little kid who can barely carry one sword. So that would be inadequate help. That would be not the right type of help, not the right type of advice or assistance or something. So that does happen, of course, to everyone. And opinions can also be like assholes, right? Everyone has one. So, I say that to say that like there is also good help and good assistance and the right assistance to help you. So, um, yeah, I'll leave it right there with that one. Now, going forward, um, we are talking about your third tarot confirmation card, which is now you go from the Two of Wands in reverse to now in the more future, current, present energies. You have the Three of Wands right side up. So 2 and 3. So sequential order. So another thing that shows growth here, Pisces. So the Three of Wands is now like, okay, it has a celebratory energy to it. It has forward momentum. It has abundance. The wands are up, right? There's the leaves on the wands. Okay, he's looking out to the sea. He's watching how other people go about and do things. He's accepting advice or help, or just being more flexible. It's like a flexibility energy to it. Okay, but when this card is coming in here and it is confirming the Ace of Staves right side up, the Star in reverse, and let me just make sure the music is still there a little bit. Okay. And also confirming the Fool in the right side up position here. Okay. We'll go in order. It's like two wands together, or not two, technically it'd be four, right? So because it's three and then another one would be four. But what I'm saying is wands, right? So the wands card is confirming the other wands card. And 1 is 0. The aces are that new beginning, the fresh energy and growth and fertility of something, growth of something, planting the seeds of something, right? Watching it grow. You could also say with the Three of Wands that it's like a more adult energy to it, right? If we are in the right way, are open to outside advice or watching how other people do things to learn and to grow, that would be like an adult kind of open-minded person, right? And so that's kind of how I feel like these two cards come together, right? So the Three of Wands is confirming that, yeah, you can have that fertility, that passion, that fiery energy, that new beginnings coming in for you here. As long as, again, with the water in the background, you don't let your emotions get the best of you. You channel your emotions into something creative. You channel your emotions into something that's possibly tangible, right? Something you can see, something that is growth and potential for the future too, right? When we talk about the abundance of the Three of Wands. Now, moving forward, when we talk about it confirming the Star in reverse, they both have water in the card, right? One is right side up and one is reverse. One is recent past energy and one is more future current energies. Okay, so it's like, how do you get back your creativity if it's lost at a certain moment in time, like happens to all of us? How do you get that passion back? How do you get the hope and inspiration for the future back, right? How do you get the balance back? Because you had several cards throughout your reading that did talk about balance issues, not just masculine and feminine, but just balance in general, right? The right amount of everything, okay? We all strive to do, okay? So here it's like, okay, I'm going to take, again, I'm going to slow down because the Three of Wands too is also like a slowing down of energy. Like he's not on a horse, he's not on a ship, right? He's watching the other ships go by. So it's like a planning for the future. It also is just like the Three of Pentacles that you had further back here too. Another two, you had 2 4s and 2 3s, right? So 6, right? But 3 and 3 is 6. But it's like I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Shit. I was talking about the stacking of the abundance, the Three of Wands. Oh man, I lost it. Okay, give me a second. Maybe it'll come back. Damn, it was right there and then it left. All right, well, it'll come back. Hopefully. But No, I was talking about the two threes. So stacking your abundance. I guess that was what I was trying to say was like, okay, so it's not 10 of wands or 10 of cups or 10 of pentacles, but it's a start and it's slowly moving upwards. Okay. So I think what it's saying here with the three of wands is that if you lost at some point or the other person or multiple people the hope or inspiration for the future, in order to get it back, it's like could we just be like give it time, like it'll come back. Like everything is cycles and everything ebbs and flows and is alchemy and energy and waxes and wanes, right? When we talked about the star card and the balance between um, the 3D world and the 5D world, the conscious and the unconscious, right? So maybe it's even just saying here, like, give it a little bit of time, work on your emotions in a positive outlet, and then you'll get it back. Okay. I think that's what I was trying to get at. Okay. Now, moving forward with the Fool card coming in here, um, I feel like this is really positive here, Pisces. The Three of Wands confirming the Fool, because I felt like it was very positive in general, right? Every card in the tarot has positive and negative. But here I felt it was really positive because the first two other cards that came before it were really positive, okay? And so, it feels like here to me, if you plant the seeds and you take that energy of the emotions or other person's emotions or multiple people's emotions and use it to make a leap of faith, have faith or renewed sense of hope in something, to trust in something going forward, to do something that's maybe risky in the sense that other people may judge you for it or you judge yourself for it or what have you. But it really feels very positive here. Okay. All right. Now, because we have, that extra confirmation card, let's keep going because we're still only on number 4. All right, but that's okay. It's all divine timing. So your fourth confirmation card, and I would look at this as like a little bit of a reminder or blockage, right, is the Nine of Swords in the right side of position. So this is more, again, future energies that could possibly come about, right? So it could be a reminder here. So you had as your second card the Ten of Swords in reverse, but here is the Nine of Swords right side up. So this would be the anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in your head about something or someone else's or multiple people, general environment, right? But it could also just be exhaustion, right? Like she can't sleep. If you see, I think it's a woman in this card, but she's worried and thinking about all this stuff. She can't sleep. Okay. So when it comes in here, this Nine of Swords right side up, it's confirming that last row we just did vertically, right? It's confirming the same cards, but a little bit differently. So it's confirming the Ace of Staves in the right side up position, the Star in reverse, and then the Fool, okay, in the right side up position again. Oh wait, no, that's in the bottom. Yeah, so basically it's let me hold that one. I was like, why did I put that back? It's basically saying, if there is a brief moment here, Pisces, in the immediate future, where you start to feel burned out too much, in some one of those ways I just listed, take the energy and channel it into saying, well, how can I make this a new beginning going forward? How can I not have any more Nine of Swords? How can I not have any more worry, anxiety, overthinking in one particular way? Because we're always going to have that in some way. You can't completely get rid of it. But how can I calm it down and channel it and find that balance, since balance kept coming up in your reading? Okay, so how can I plant the seeds for the future? How can I have fertility in this way and growth and abundance for the future? Because you will. If you just think about it and focus it, you will. All right, because we already know. Because you have all these really positive cards at the end. Now, the same kind of deal when it has the Nine of Swords confirming the Star in reverse. So again, if you find a moment or several moments, right, or moments that hint back to other moments or trigger you or another person, etc., how can I get back the passion, the creativity, the balancing of my emotions in a positive way? Well, one way is to get out of my head. One way is to help the other person get out of their head, or multiple people or everybody get out of their head. Too much thinking, right? Take a break, ground yourself. what does it mean to ground? Do things that you enjoy that are positive for yourself. Make sure as a basis of like grounding rituals, eat good food, get enough sleep, have time for downtime when you're working too, all those things. Okay. Now, moving forward, when the Nine of Swords is confirming the Fool, it's kind of like what I just already said that, like, when anytime in life you have a new beginning, a leap of faith, a trust in something, and you're letting go of issues of ego or identity on your side or multiple people's sides, it could bring up that anxiety of like, okay, um, the worry, the overthinking of like those issues of ego and identity coming out again. But it's like, am I going to listen to them? Is the other person going to listen to them? Are multiple people going to listen to them? Because that would just be the negative side, right? There's always positive and negative in every situation. Okay. So, yeah. Now, going forward, your last confirmation card here. We will finish this reading. Don't you worry. Okay, we're going to get there. Divine timing is your extra one that came out for you, Pisces. Since it's Pisces season, you had to have an extra one because you're special here. You have the Eight of Wands in the reverse position, which is actually really beautiful. And that's how you want to see this card. And this is also future possibilities kind of energy, present, current energies here. Okay, because when the Eight of Wands is right side up, it's you know, well, let me take it back. I don't know. I mean, the Eight of Wands is like very fast moving communication coming in, whether it's good news or bad news. When it's reversed, it could be. I felt it for you in this particular way because tarot readings are not just about what the actual meaning of this card alone is. You have to take it in a whole of all of the cards and what the general feeling is. So the first thing that I felt when looking at this card was that you were letting down defenses. If there was any defenses that were still too high or looking vulnerable in some way, I felt it was you letting those things down. And so that's kind of how I'm going to take it, okay? But it could also be for some, the general meaning of the card would be that there is somebody's instincts are off, or their timing is off, or there's a communication that doesn't come through or isn't well received or understood in some way in the distant future, okay? But I see it generally as the way that it felt to me was letting the defenses down, okay? And this card is doing the same thing these other last two cards did. It's just coming in here and confirming these cards again on another level, right? It's confirming the Ace of Swords, the Star in reverse, and the Fool in the right side up position. So here, I feel like it is the more you let your defenses down, the more that you trust your intuition and maybe say this communication that came in or hasn't come in yet, if I don't understand it or the other person doesn't understand it or it's not the best timing, that's okay because it could still possibly lead to this fertility, these new beginnings, this fresh start. Okay, so that's how I see it, and that's how we're gonna do it on this channel over here. All right. So with all that being said, let's get into your oracle cards that hopefully will be a little more lighter information real quickly before you go. Okay. So your first oracle card here, Pisces, is your love oracle message, whether you're watching for romantic love or self-love or platonic love with friends or family or all the above, right? And your love oracle message for this time is chemistry and says there's a strong magnetic attraction here. And here you see a man and a woman, and the woman is holding some kind of little fiery energy ball, and they're both kind of looking at it. Okay. So this is definitely obviously very positive for all of those different categories, right? So there's a strong magnetic attraction between you and a romantic partner, possibly, right? If you have one or are seeking one. It could be for friends and family that you have a strong magnetic connection to someone who's a friend or someone who's in your family here, okay? And also if it's self-love, it could be the law of attraction. The more that you work on your own self-love and, have love coming out of you in this magnetic way, it'll pull more love towards you. All right. Okay. And then your second oracle card, your Rumi or Remy, depending on how you pronounce it, oracle deck here by Elena Fairchild. Um, he is a 13th century Persian poet. He's one of my favorite. And so she took some of his poetry and put it with this beautiful artist's imagery. I can't remember the artist. Shoot. Maybe it says right here. Who's the artist? Rus, I don't know how to pronounce it. Rasuli? Rasuli. Okay, we're gonna go with that. But anyway, your Oracle Rumi or Remy Oracle card for this time period, Pisces card number 18, and it says a new gown, and it looks like a woman here standing at the edge of the forest, and she's wearing some kind of outfit. So go ahead and read a little bit of the poetry and then the quick little prayer that goes with it, and that's it. But if you want to learn more, you can look it up online as well. Okay, so it says a new gown. Weary and consumed by longing, I was caressed by my beloved last night. My wounded soul was set free when I tasted the sweetness of love. My spirit was lifted at once. I surrendered my life while overflowing with joy, and my vision was filled with light. Love said, "Don't feel so hopeless, my weary and gloomy one, for my generosity is beyond forgetting those devoted to me. See how boundless divine justice can be. Behold my immeasurable kindness." Love embraced my spirit, and all my doubts vanished at once. A new and glorious robe of honor was placed on my shoulders. Love offered me the power of a new vision and the transforming touch of divine generosity, and placed the chalice of eternal wine in my hand. Okay. That's beautiful. And here's a little bit rest of the poem. It says, I have the perfect gift for you. It is a gown of new colors, of colors perfectly suited to you and no other. The colors of this gown will make your eyes sparkle and gleam as though they were more beautiful than the most precious of gems. The colors of this new gown will make your skin seem luminous as if lit from within. For of course it is. Beautiful angel, your complexion is radiant with the light of life. Your hair will shine with luster, and your entire being will be complemented by this gown as it enhances your beauty in all ways. So hold on no longer to that shabby, tattered cloak, so unworthy of you. Cast it off. Let me grace your shoulders now with this royal robe instead, that you may shine beautifully as it benefits a royal child of divine patronage. Okay. That's beautiful. I like it. Cast it aside, the old one. Okay. The old robe. And then the little sacred honoring ritual that goes with this card. It says, place your hands very lightly upon the top of your head. Say aloud, I cast aside lesser crowns. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. I cast aside lesser crowns. Okay, only the royal crown. Okay. And then it says, open your hands up to the heavens and say aloud, I receive the royal gown descending through grace. Slowly and gently, guide your hands down from the top of your head alongside your body as though drawing a royal robe over your head. Allow your hands to gently touch the floor as though the robe completely covers you. Sit comfortably and visualize or extend that the most beautiful gown of many colors surrounds you. You may or may not be aware of the colors. You may see layers of shimmering lights, stars, roses, and more. You may hear the gown singing like a choir of angels or gurgling as though it is a fountain of liquid gold. Let it be as it is for you, as subtle and powerful as it wishes to be. Whatever happens for you is perfect. When you are ready, simply open your eyes, place your hands in a prayer position, and bow your head. You have finished your sacred honoring ritual. That's beautiful. Okay, I like that. Yeah, so this is a newer Oracle deck that I got. So all the cards are new to me. But that is your reading here, dear Pisces. Happy birthday, Pisces. Again, thank you guys so much for your patience. And the next reading will start with you since it's your birthday season, so it won't be late. So thanks again for all your ways, the free ways to support this channel, whether just by viewing the video or sharing it with others and liking it. Not only when you like it, does it tell me that you like the video, which is important to know that it resonates, but also it tells YouTube's algorithm, so it'll share, with other people. And then, yeah, if you haven't subscribed and you want to yet, it is free too. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my voice and my allergies. All you have to do if you want to subscribe is click on the bell icon on the bottom right and make sure that it's blue and it's active, and it'll just notify you when I put out new readings. But you guys take care, and thank you so much, and enjoy this time period and beyond. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.